Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our service for this Sunday, the 26th of April. Beautiful, sunny, warm day, spring day, so I look forward to sharing this inspiring service and message with you this morning. Speaking of which, I have a slide here that kind of sums up what our service is all about today. When you are present in this moment, you break the continuity of your story of past and future. Then true intelligence arises, and also love. And as always, of course, we start our service by lighting our Christ candle. And again, this morning, we are going to focus on the light that we are, the light that we always are, the light of love, and how it is that we express that light. So first of all, we begin by lighting our candle. And as we watch the light of the candle get brighter and brighter, it's a reminder to us that there is this spark that's always within each one of us, and that we can fan it into a flame. It can be a bright light for ourselves, for all those around us, and particularly for our world at this time. And so we place the candle on the stand, and it will burn there for the duration of our service this morning. And now, at this time, we have our first piece of music this morning. It's called "The Spirit of God is Upon Me," and it was written by Ricky Byers and Michael Beckwith, and it's a rabble-rousing song, so you might want to get up and dance and move around and really get into the spirit of the song. You can sing along as the words will be here on PowerPoint.
Every day, Spirit of God is upon me.
Yes, indeed, the Spirit of God is upon us all, calling us always, of course, to love. And for my invocation today, I'm going back to poetry. I think we need to be inspired by the great words of the great poets. And so again, I'm going to be reading from The Gift, poems by Hafiz. And this one says, "Don't die again. I am a man who knows the 10,000 positions of divine love. I can tell by the light in your eyes that you are still only most familiar with the few earthly ones. But would not a good father instruct all his heirs toward the path that will someday deeply satisfy? This world is a treacherous place, and will surely slay and drown the lazy. The only life raft here is love, and the holy name. Say it, brother. Oh, say the divine name, dear sister, silently as you walk. Don't die again, with that holy ruby mine inside of you still unclaimed, when you could be swinging a golden pick with each step." So that beautiful, simple poem reminds us that we have this incredible mine inside of us, this mine of love that we must discover and unfold all of its riches in our life. And that leads us then to the second poem that's called The Great Work. Love is the great work. Though every heart is first an apprentice that slaves beneath the city of light, this wondrous trade, this magnificent throne your soul is destined for, you should not have to think much about it. Is it not clear? An apprentice needs a teacher who himself has charmed the universe to reveal its wonders inside his cup. Happiness is the great work, though every heart must first become a student to one who really knows about love. So again, that poem reminds us that we are all apprentices, we are all learning. We're all looking to that Spirit of God that is pouring upon us all the time, pouring through us, pouring into our lives. We're looking for the instruction and the guidance. And so we are reminded again this morning of our task, that we are all about love. That's what our task is today and every day. And so, as always, this morning we turn in prayer in the spirit of love and caring and of healing for all those who have asked for our prayers over the last week. And we pray especially this morning for the intention of Mert Molina. We pray for Babs Castellino, who passed away in India, and we remember her sister Yvonne, part of our community, and her family who grieve Babs' passing. We also remember in prayer Linda Beloga. We remember Paxton and his family, for Jerry and Bud Zumwalt. And so we just pause for a moment, each one of us in the silence of our own hearts, to remember all those that we love and care about, and indeed the bigger cares of the world, and all those who are attempting to help us at this time. So we pause to remember them. If you want to say their names out loud into the ether. I'm going to say a prayer that was posted in my Unity Ministers Facebook page. And it says, The swift and powerful action and activity of the Holy Spirit is now sweeping through the earth, sweeping away COVID-19 and all forms of the virus, dissolving it and completely eradicating it from human consciousness. And that same swift and powerful action and activity of the Holy Spirit is moving through the universe, drawing to all humankind health, wholeness, peace, compassion, prosperity, unity, and all things in alignment with the consciousness of the living Christ and the real desires of our heart. May it be. So it is. Amen. And so now at this time too, we turn to the daily word for today. The word for today is release. I release all that does not contribute to my highest good. John's Gospel tells of Jesus' restoring life to his friend Lazarus, who had been dead 4 days. As Jesus cries, "Lazarus, come out," his friend emerges from the tomb, burial cloth still covering his face and wrapped around his hands and feet. Jesus says to those who have gathered, "Unbind him and let him go." Even after a spiritual resurrection, I can still remain bound, like Lazarus, by thoughts, ideas, feelings, or habits that keep me from the full experience of my freedom. Through my divine power of elimination, I can release negative feelings, dissolve error thoughts, and free myself from those habits and actions that do not serve my highest good. I am no longer bound. I choose freedom. I affirm that I am indeed free. So now at this time, we have our meditation for our service, shared with us today by Claire Palmerino.
Good morning, dear friends. It is so wonderful to meet with you here in cyberspace. I'm eager for the time when we can gather in person, but for now, this is working quite well. Before we start our meditation, I'd like to consider some of the qualities of light and how light serves the various purposes of the universe. For example, light illuminates. It reveals. It promotes growth. It supports life. Light heals. It restores energy to our physical bodies and to our energy bodies. And light purifies. Light can dissolve anything that no longer serves us. So let's take these ideas about light into our time of meditation. I invite you to settle into your chair, close your eyes, place your feet upon the floor, and begin to focus your attention on the breath. Allow your breath to rise and fall, to flow in and out according to its natural rhythm. Simply observe it. Be present with it. Focusing on the breath brings us into the present moment. And it is in the present moment that we are fully alive. Now with each breath that comes in, I invite you to imagine that you're breathing in a beautiful golden white light. This is the divine light that is always with us, always available to us. It surrounds us and enfolds us. Breathe the light in, see it come in through your nostrils and go down into your lungs. Breathe it in slowly and deeply. Invite the light to illuminate your entire body. And as you exhale, release anything that you no longer want or need. So breathe in that beautiful white light and release the tension of your body. Breathe in the loving, healing light, and with the exhale, release any stress that's come from worrisome thoughts. Breathe in that purifying light, and with the exhale, let go of all that no longer serves you. I invite you to bring your focus of attention to your heart center. And from there, we breathe in that beautiful golden white light directly into the heart space. The golden white light fills your heart center and flows down into your belly, down to your legs, down to your feet, illuminating the lower body. With the next in-breath, breathe in through your heart center, golden white light, and let it flow upward into your neck and to completely fill your head, illuminating your brain, bringing beautiful white light throughout every system, every part, every particle of your body. As you breathe in your mind, say, I am the light. And with the out breath, the light I am. I am the light I am. I am the light I am. The light within you, indeed the light that you are, cannot be contained. The light has so filled your presence, has so filled your body that it is pouring out through your skin, out of the very pores, filling wave upon wave of light out into the universe. Beyond the physical boundaries of the body. Indeed, the physical boundaries of the body dissolve until you know yourself as true light. May you know, dear friends, just how beautifully illuminated and enlightened you are. Blessings to you. This concludes our time of meditation.
Thank you, Claire, for that beautiful meditation. And we follow up with a piece of music that resonates with the same theme. This is I Am the Light by David Alt.
You are the light, we are the light. Oh, Yahweh. And we let this light be all it can be. Let the whole world see possibility. Trust and let it lead every single day. Every move we make, hand in hand we play. With spirit, I am the love, you are the love, we are the love. Oh, Yahweh. I am the love, you are the love, we are the love. Oh, Yahweh. I am the love, you are the love, we are the love. Oh, Yahweh. I am the love, you are the love, we are the love. Oh, Yahweh. And we let this love be all it can be. Let the whole world see possibility. Trust and let it lead every single day. Every move we make, hand in hand we play. With spirit, I am the light, you are the light, we are the light. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light. I am the love, you are the love, we are the love. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light. I am the light, you are the light, we are the light. I am the love, you are the love, we are the love.
A nice inspirational song there, encouraging us to be the light. So my talk today is titled Being Centered Now. We have a beautiful slide here that says God is the beginning, the end, the outer, and the inner. So one of the nice things about these past few weeks has been the thoughtful and inspiring reflections that people have been sharing online. I'm sure you've been looking at these on Facebook and elsewhere. And a recent post that I really liked was titled, "We are all in the same boat." And at first glance, you might be inclined to agree, yeah, that's true. But, the author then goes on and clarifies for us that we are not in the same boat, but we are in the same storm. Our experience of social isolation or quarantine is not everybody's. Some people are feeling terribly isolated and feeling alone, lonely. Others are enjoying being alone and using the internet to stay connected with friends. It may depend on whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. The quality of experience has much to do with our resources, I think. Are we affluent whereby we have computers, we have good internet connections, iPhones, iPads, good PCs? That makes a big difference. Think about all of the Zoom sessions that we've had over the last few weeks. how different your experience of these past few weeks would have been if you weren't able to connect like that. And for some of us, this time is a welcome relief from the fast pace of life. It's a slower pace. For others, it's a stressful time of being forced to learn new skills like how to host Zoom classes and services. For many, this is a time of unprecedented fear and anxiety due to loss of income. And for some essential workers, it has been like a war zone, and they are exhausted. And yet, for others among us, it's been like a welcome vacation. So for sure, we are not in the same boat, but we are in the same storm. And what makes an even bigger difference than external connections using technology is our internal connection to the divine within. For that is the connection to our living testimony. What can I personally testify out of these experiences of the past few weeks? Not what did I share with others or what have I seen on social media, but what have I experienced in my heart in all of this? Because only that provides clarity and wisdom. We can each be a spokesperson for that and share it. In fact, I encourage you to write down, before you start to forget, what you have experienced, so that you can go back in the future and reread it. It is your hard-earned wisdom and reflection. Don't waste it. So today I thought I would share my personal experience and reflections. And the first experience I want to mention goes back to late January, when Dermot, my closest friend from age 16 to 18, died in mysterious circumstances when the taxi he was driving went into the River Lee in Cork City, back home in Ireland. I was part of a close-knit circle of 10 friends in my hometown, and Dermot was the first to die out of that group. It was a crack in my world for sure. And then February 20th was a very important day also for me. It was the day my eldest brother John passed away. For 62 years, my cocoon of siblings was intact. None of us had died, but now that wasn't true anymore. And so the first crack had opened up, and any false sense of protection that I had was gone. His death brought home in a personal way the reality of the pandemic also. It wasn't just theoretical anymore. I was joined with those who were experiencing the death firsthand of someone they loved in these difficult times, and I was experiencing loss and grief due to my attachment to a human relationship called family, sibling, eldest brother. And through that doorway, the loss, the grief, and the sadness of the world flowed in also. I felt connected to humanity all of a sudden. And so my brother John's death was a real gift to me, and it was going to become a gift to you also. Because I knew what was important in the moment now. Things became clear for me about what was mine to do and how you and I should respond as a community. I learned quickly what it was like to make decisions that were for the common good rather than based on my own personal needs, like not flying to London for his celebration of life, nor being with my family to mourn. I learned to step up and become competent in technology that I had been avoiding up to now. I knew that responding to our communal needs had to be priority, and I had to do what was required in the moment, even if I wasn't thrilled about it. Kind of like realizing that you have to grow up or be a parent, perhaps. I merely focused on my mission of being of service to my spiritual community looking at our real needs and seeing what we could do to respond to them and to the needs of others. And so very quickly, in a matter of a few days, we were having online classes and services. And from that I learned that connection was the real value. Everybody expressed the joy and delight of seeing the faces of their fellow congregants. That was what was important. We were separate, but we were in this together. Building a sense of community through computer screens took precedence, and it has worked. And in all of this, there's been a lot of sorting and sifting things out as we went. When should we close was a big discernment. Soon it will be, when should we open? But how do we do that, and how do we proceed? What maybe needs to be different? Applying for small business financial aid was another step that we as a board had to decide on. But something became even clearer for me. Amid all the TV discussions and speculations, the conspiracy theories and the scientific data, it became clear to me that much of that was just another possibility of being distracted. Keep us away from the challenge and the difficulty and the pain. Yes, facts are important, of course, but even more important for me was the clarity that while there are many ways to respond, there is one that is higher than all the rest. No matter how outrageous things have been or might still become, we manifest the light by anchoring the light in our minds, our hearts, and our bodies. We anchor love. And I realized that there's a strong social justice urge to expose the charlatans, right the wrongs of society, bring down the tyrants. And I think we need to recognize that so often those efforts take us out of a place of love and light. That is how we become co-opted by the darkness we are supposedly fighting against. We become angry and hateful or judgmental. Tracking the bad guys and gals takes our focus off of being the good guys and gals to the highest extent that we can sometimes. And when you are in your boat in the eye of the storm, it's important to remember that you don't want to be pulled into the energy of the storm. You want to stay calm and peaceful in the center, your center. That is the best help you can be to anybody at this time and for humanity. And during these days, we also need to acknowledge that whatever is happening is only an attempt to bring about our highest good. This pandemic is the universe evolving us to a higher consciousness, changing our course and bringing out our highest potential. This is the transition we have wanted, just never realized it would look like this. If we wish to be of the highest noble help during this transition to higher consciousness, my suggestion is that we spend more time blessing humanity, affirming the highest outcome of our heart's desire and intentions, focusing on them, and loving the innocence within our hearts that sends love to all hearts without exception. I know it's hard, but it's actually the only way to win. I know too that there can be no exceptions to that, as much as you would like there to be. To not do so is actually to be on the losing side. It's to hold back the final victory of love. Because when we enter into that field of energy, we discover that it already exists in the present. It exists in me. And is not up ahead somewhere in the future of wishful thinking. The kingdom is here now, as Jesus said. It's not in the past, it's not in the future. Its access point is here. And it seems like we've come through the first stage of the pandemic. We got through that first wave. And now we're moving into a second phase, that of re-emerging into a more active life with even more opportunities to discover the kingdom, perhaps in new ways. Often when we go through a stressful period of time, we only get to process our feelings after the fact, when it feels like the danger is past and we can then afford to feel our feelings. And that goes back, of course, to a survival instinct from way back when we were being chased by wild animals. When you're being chased is not the time to stop and think, how am I feeling? That only comes about when we feel safe. So you might have a lot of feelings now that you have been storing up over these last few weeks. Perhaps the 5 stages of grief are worth reviewing: anger, bargaining, denial, sadness or depression, and acceptance. You may be going through the cycle of these 5 responses relating to what you've been through over the last 5 weeks. And yet at the same time, as I said, we are beginning a new cycle, the next phase of the pandemic, and it too will have five experiences, a cycle that we will be going through. So now we have 2 cycles going on at once. Maybe now you are feeling sad over the experiences of the past few weeks, while also being anxious or angry about the reopening of society and feeling maybe more vulnerable now. Some may feel infallible and think that it's all overblown. Others may feel like they're waiting for the inevitable or the worst yet to come. No, we are not in the same boat, but we are in the same storm. Some see miracles and find the kingdom every day in their experience, and some only see or find doom and gloom. What we are being called to is to move into the eye of the storm, not to be caught up in the whirlwind of the storm itself and all of the opinions that we hear being put about there on TV. It's important for us to see through and beyond what is presenting itself around us. It requires more than just looking. It requires seeing and knowing what is ours to do. See beyond the party political, the over-religious piety and the cliches, beyond the nose on our own face. And also to not underestimate the pain of others, even if we don't feel it personally. Know that each of us is in our own boat, navigating as best we can. But we must have our true north and be willing to share that if others are asking about how to navigate and move forward. What is your true north in life right now? You know, people sense when you have faith or live by hope, or you seem to know what you're about and where you're going. Who or what is trying to steer you off course? Be alert, stay awake, know who you are and what you are capable of, and stay the course, and don't let anybody pull you off that course. And that course and true north is love, and it is only love. I'm asking you to keep faith with that, with being the light of love. If you want to have an experience of how to be the light, I invite you to a Jeddah Mali afternoon meditation at 3 p.m. tomorrow. And I invite you to experience being the light as it shows up in your physical body. She will lead us through an incredible meditation. And if you're looking for information about that, please check the weekly e-bulletin, and you will find the access for that in the e-bulletin. So I hope to see you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. So we come to our power word for the month. And the word or the statement for this month is, appreciation fills my heart and fuels my gratitude. And once again, we take note of the fact that there is an inflow and an outflow of that energy. Appreciation fills my heart and fuels my gratitude. And we come now to the time for our love offering. Again, you can always go to www.unitygold.us to donate to our our general fund to cover our bills for the month. And we have simplified our love offering statement. First of all, I invite you to connect with a sense of gratitude for whatever we've been through in these few weeks. We know that it has not been anywhere near what some people have gone through. We have still so much to be grateful for our connection with each other, for our spiritual community, for our homes, for the food on our table, for our families and our friendships. And so from that place of gratitude, we pray for ourselves and for the world. I give in love because I love to give. And so we have another beautiful song, this time from David Friedman, good friend, and it's called Unity.
Every prayer is answered, every prayer is heard, every thought and feeling, every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real. There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me. There's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way. All loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are
Yes, and so we come to our announcements. And again, a reminder about that beautiful meditation with Jedamati, where she really has a transmission of energy where you can feel the light in your body and the light streaming through it. So I encourage us as a community to come together and do a communal meditation tomorrow so that we can strengthen ourselves individually and as a group to be the light that we want to be. Also, a reminder that we are having a virtual healing clinic. We normally would have those on the third Saturday of the month. You would have to go to the Unity Center, but all of our practitioners are offering their services. So you can have a virtual long-distance healing with these clinicians. So please, again, look at the e-bulletin from last Thursday and call the various people there for any of their services. They're happy to do that for you at this time. Reminder that as people, family, friends, pets pass away, please send us their photos so that they can be put on our wall of remembrance. Again, we still have some spaces left, so please send us in your photographs. An email to goldcountryunity@gmail.com. And the other day I received a beautiful video from a lady who's in the interfaith group with me, and I was so moved by it I felt I had to share it. And so the message is in 3 different languages, English, Spanish, and French. And so I invite you to listen to what this lady from the Andes, a shaman, has to say. The sound will begin momentarily.
Muy buen día para todos mis hermanos, muy buen tiempo para todos los seres en toda la tierra. Este es un mensaje que estaba esperando desde hace mucho tiempo, pero más desde el momento que llegamos aquí a Los Ángeles. Como todos saben, en Colombia nosotros hemos hecho este viaje aquí a este territorio de Estados Unidos. Las puertas se nos han abierto de una manera muy fluida, demasiado fluida para todos los procesos que hemos realizado. Y sin embargo hemos entrado en este momento de catarsis, en este momento de crisis, en la cual me pregunto cuál es la razón por la que estamos aquí. Pues anoche ha llegado el mensaje que tanto esperaba. El mensaje que nos entregan para todos los líderes de los Andes, de todo el cordón de los Andes, es que debemos estar muy tranquilos. Primero, que nosotros hemos sido muy bendecidos, porque por muchos años, si no es por toda nuestra vida, hemos estado viviendo en unos territorios donde se respira un aire fresco, donde se respira la energía de las montañas, de la tierra, de los ríos, de las cascadas. Y todos los que vivimos en el campo, en las ecoaldeas, en las montañas, hemos sido recargados infinitamente con una gran energía para poder ayudar en estos momentos en que la humanidad ha entrado en esta crisis de manipulación, pero que también es un aprendizaje para cada uno de nosotros desde el lugar donde nos corresponda vivenciarlo. No estamos todos al mismo nivel. Esa es la información que entregan los guías superiores. Todos estamos en vibraciones diferentes, por lo tanto, este proceso que estamos vivenciando, cada uno lo vivenciaremos de manera diferente. Unos con dolor, unos con miedo, otros con preocupación, otros con mucha abundancia. Sin embargo, nosotros, los que hemos estado trabajando como acompañantes de luz, siempre nos hemos denominado que somos faros de luz, que somos esa chispita de luz que estamos allí prestos a ayudar a la humanidad. Pues el momento ha llegado, mis queridos hermanos. El mensaje que nos entregan es que a cada uno de nosotros nos han enviado a algún lugar de la tierra como focos de luz. A cada uno nos han ubicado en el este, en el oeste, en el norte y en el sur. Y cada uno nos ubicaron allí para que hagamos la tarea. Los guías superiores piden que no nos retornemos a nuestros lugares, que no retornemos a nuestra casa, porque nosotros hemos puesto nuestra voluntad y nos hemos puesto a disposición de las energías superiores para poder ayudar a todos nuestros hermanos. Preguntaba yo qué ritual podíamos hacer, porque hoy es el día de hacer los rituales y me conmociona mucho, pero en alegría, lo que los hermanos dicen. Dicen que hemos hecho muchos rituales, que hemos encendido muchos fuegos, que hemos elevado muchas oraciones. Por lo tanto, los fuegos ya están activados en toda la tierra. Por lo tanto, nuestras oraciones ya han sido recibidas y nuestro propósito también. Dicen que ahora es el tiempo de mantenernos como focos de energía donde quiera que nos haya correspondido esta experiencia. A mí personalmente y al abuelo nos ha correspondido aquí en Los Ángeles, California. Un lugar donde nos invitan a activar los verdaderos ángeles de luz, porque en este momento los ángeles caídos y de la oscuridad están realizando su tarea, pero no es otra tarea que confrontarnos a nosotros mismos. Si somos servidores de la luz, entonces nos vamos a parar en la luz. Y esa luz no es otra cosa que la armonía, la tranquilidad, la paz, pero la tranquilidad, la armonía y la paz internas, la que llevamos en el corazón. El mensaje es que debemos permanecer en completa calma, en completa armonía, y debemos permanecer observándonos todo el tiempo, en la noche, en el día, en todo momento, con quien estemos, con quien compartamos. El mensaje es que cuando sintamos que a través emocional o a través de la mente nos llega alguna energía de miedo, de preocupación, de dudas, entonces reconozcamos que esa energía no es nuestra, es simplemente la energía de los que están afuera, que vienen para que nosotros nos convirtamos en catalizadores de esta energía, la transmutemos y la saquemos nuevamente convertida en luz. Dice que no necesitamos hacer ningún ritual, porque no son los rituales hacia afuera los que sirven, sino el ritual que hago internamente. Dice que mientras mi corazón esté en calma, mis emociones estén en calma, mi mente está en calma, mi espíritu puede manifestarse para elevar las altas vibraciones de aquellos que todavía no están en conciencia, pero que sin embargo a gritos llaman, a gritos se pelean en las marquetas, en los supermercados, porque les han enseñado a pensar con el estómago, les han enseñado a sentir desde la necesidad y la carencia. Pero nosotros estamos en otra vibración. A cada uno nos han ubicado en el lugar que nos corresponde, cubiertos de abundancia, de protección, cubiertos de salud, pero ante todos llenitos de conciencia. Y esa conciencia que hemos colectado durante tanto tiempo es la aportación que tenemos hoy para la humanidad. Así que los invito desde el lugar donde se encuentren, ya sea en el tumulto de gente, ya sea en la soledad, conviértete en un faro de luz verdaderamente. Conviértete en el catalizador de las energías que nuestros hermanos envían para que ayudemos a transmutarlas, ya que ellos no saben cómo hacerlo, no están en la conciencia. Ellos todavía tienen el velo y nosotros tenemos la responsabilidad de ayudar a quitar este velo. Desde lo más alto del espíritu, ese gran misterio, ese gran espíritu, ese Ometeor que nombramos tanto, nos invita a permanecer en paz, en completa calma y en completa observación. Nos dicen que esto también pasará y que cuando pase, nuestra conciencia habrá dado el salto cuántico que tanto hemos llamado, por el que tanto hemos rezado. También nos dicen que después de esta catarsis, la vida será maravillosa para todos y cada uno, los que quedemos en este plano y los que se van al otro plano. Pero el momento ha llegado. La decisión es nuestra. nos unimos a las altas vibraciones de amor y de energía, y en compasión abrazamos a todos nuestros hermanos. Un gran abrazo para todos y un saludo muy especial para cada uno. Y no estamos solos, no estamos solos. Todos nuestros guías superiores, todos los maestros, todos los abuelos, todos los ancestros están activados ya. Sus medicinas ya están activadas, sus memorias ya están activadas. Así que solo nos queda abrazar a nuestro hermano, y no con ese abrazo físico, sino con ese abrazo energético de amor y de luz. Con ustedes, Amtokal Nesli desde Los Ángeles. Buen tiempo, buena vida.
I received that video after I had written my talk and put the service together, and I just felt that it expressed everything that I was hoping to express in the service, and so I felt it was worth taking our time to hear the message from someone else also. So we come to the close of our service, and I invite you to pray along with me. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am, and all is well.